Hi everyone, I'm Chris King. Welcome to Goodbye Deli. Today is our film rundown. Now, this film rundown for this week is going to be relatively short, but I did want to do it nonetheless because some pretty big news has dropped. As you can tell, obviously we got the Star Wars title finally for Episode 7, The Force Awakens. Now, I wanted to just give my thoughts. It's pretty crazy. I mean, like we here we're discussing it not too long ago. Actually, we're just talking about what our impressions of so far was with Star Wars Episode 7, all the stuff we've been seeing so far with J.J. Abrams and stuff. I mean, excitement is all you can really say. The biggest thing about it that's really interesting is the fact that going back to like Disney's acquisition of LucasArts and just that whole company for so much money, all that kind of stuff. It's really crazy if you notice just how fast they turned around and said, okay, we're going to start profiting off of Star Wars. It's a very, very interesting business tactic that they pulled right there. It's similar to Marvel. Marvel was already running along. They had their plan. They were already going to do whatever they were going to do, but they got that back from Disney. With LucasArts, however, LucasArts really dropped off in the past, decade or so. I've always been a massive George Lucas fan of all the different types of films that he's done, specifically obviously with Star Wars and Indiana Jones, that kind of stuff. But it's really interesting how they kind of fell off like this last kind of decade or so, and Disney just is turning that around, and they know they have a plan, and their plan is whatever subsidiaries that they're going to have, they're going to make sure that these things are bankable and really profitable. So obviously Star Wars, right? Hence Star Wars. We know that these Star Wars movies are going to be, Star Wars Episode 7, 8, and 9, and in between they're trying to do spin-off movies. I think that with their acquisition of Marvel, and which Marvel in itself is just incredible business. I mean, obviously I'm a business guy, so I love that kind of stuff. But Marvel, the way they have turned their company around, and Disney has helped them, is really just a testament to what kind of minds are over there, that kind of building. So same thing with LucasArts. I'm excited to see what they're going to do with it. What it leads me to believe is, and ask really, is just what kind of formula are they necessarily going to be kind of planning for themselves, because this means that they know that these Star Wars movies are flagship movies, and in between they want to do spin-offs. Okay, this is not like a extended universe or anything like that. It's just movies and spin-offs in between. So I wonder if 6 movies is going to be enough for Disney. George Lucas originally, for those of you who don't know, all the hardcore Star Wars fans obviously have known this for a long time. He planned Star Wars as a 12 movie epic, or a saga, if you will. So I mean, if these 3 movies work out, you better believe we will have Episode 10, 11, and 12 down the line, and spin-off movies in between, if not 2 spin-off movies in between. I don't see why they wouldn't do that. This is a kind of genre in itself, and not a genre in itself, but it's a franchise in itself that is so massive. It has become to the point where you can have 2 Star Wars movies in a year. Why not? I wonder if they're going to try to pull up Marvel with that and try to create some sort of universe with the bounty hunters and the 1313 levels and the Jedi levels, the Sith levels, all that kind of stuff, and maybe create a universe in itself, which already has already done successfully. As for the title itself, The Force Awakens, it's safe. It's a very safe title, in my opinion. I'm okay with it. I mean, what it leads me to believe is, when I first heard it, I'll admit I was kind of turned off. I thought it was a little bit too safe. It was a little bit of too, just kind of like, Mario and Luigi, Mushroom Kingdom. Just really on the head, really obvious, So this in itself, the interesting thing is that none of the Star Wars movies have had the word Force in the title. Yeah, none of them have had the word Force in the title, and the Force is kind of one of them. It's as iconic as the lightsaber in the Star Wars universe, but neither have you had a lightsaber in the title of any of the movies, So the Force is a very crucial key, and actually is one of the most interesting aspects in my opinion, because the Force it serves 2 purposes with this universe. One, it serves the purpose of why it's possible to have these kind of magical, mystical, and mythological kind of creatures and beings in the universe, and it also reflects the entire storyline of the Republic versus the Jedi. It reflects that kind of balance between the Republic versus Jedi, Sith versus Dark side versus the good side. all that kind of stuff. It really reflects the entire plot of the entire universe. So the Force Awakens leading to believe that, you know, this, they said this gonna be about 30 years after Episode 6, I believe. So the Force Awakens leading to believe that this is going to be something along the lines of, you know, probably Luke, you know, is going to be one of the last remaining Jedis, and the Force, I suppose, will reawaken, and he will now have these new Jedis that he will have to train under him to, you know, kind of create this army. I believe that, you know, again, going back to the whole, you know, good versus evil kind of side, and creating armies and kind of building up. But the other interesting thing is that there is no Episode 7 anywhere on this, you know, title card. So could it be that this is Disney's soft reboot of the franchise? I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it because if they go into a very, very different tone, you have endless possibilities, as I mentioned before. This way, you can have 3 Star Wars movies in a year, 2 Star Wars movies in a year, or, you know, within every other couple of years, you have just an immense amount of possibilities that you can do. So I'm excited. It fits. I think it really fits with where they want to lead this. And again, The Force Awakens it has this kind of tone of rebirth with it. So I'm interested. Disney, you have my attention. I like the way they announced it on Twitter and stuff. It also leads me to believe that, you know, principal photography has just been completed. We have we have most of the cast. Principal photography is completed, and now we have our title card. We have our tone. We have our message. We know exactly where the movie is going. It's pretty much done. Now it's just all the massive editing work that's going to take, you know, a very long time. A trailer is coming soon. I wouldn't be surprised if it's not somewhere in May, if not by the end of, you know, this year. Okay, so let's move on to our other, you know, article that we're going to be talking about today. It's just one other topic. Steve Jobs and Christian Bale. This is you know, not the most, like, definitely not on scale with anything Star Wars related. But Christian Bale, in my opinion, he's one of my favorite actors, easily in the top 5, if not like the top 3. He's just since Psycho, since American Psycho, he's had my attention. Actually, I remember watching one of his movies from a very early age. I forget the name, but that like Kingdom of the Sun, something like that. I forget what it is. But when he was a little boy, I remember watching that movie in history class, I believe, like in middle school. But since American Psycho, this guy has really had my attention, and that character of, you know, Patrick Bateman is actually just one of my favorite characters in cinema, just period. You know, so many iconic scenes, and it's because of Christian Bale. You could not have done that movie with any other actor, period. It's just not possible. So, I mean, you take this guy and you put him into a Batman film, and he was probably the first time I've been okay with a Batman casting besides Michael Keaton, you know, that I've actually been excited and happy for. And actually, I should say Ben Affleck, because I'm definitely pro Ben Affleck. So Christian Bale, again, this guy has gravitas, this guy has the demeanor, and he's a method actor, which is, you know, very rare, you know, but it's something that has kind of had a resurgence, you know, as of late. But he's the real deal. He's just 100% proof of what acting should be. He's not the best actor, but he's definitely what an actor should try to be. If you can compare it to something like this, you're just in the right, you know, kind of direction. And Aaron Sorkin, you know, kind of recently made a statement. He said that when you're going to try to do a film, you know, I'm just paraphrasing here, but as epic as, you know, the Steve Jobs story, you need Steve Jobs. You need whoever can be as close to that, who has the chops to pull that kind of off, and that's Bale. 100%. He didn't even have to audition. He was offered the part. But unfortunately, he has just recently pulled out, or I guess they, you know, let him go for whatever reason. I believe that he pulled out. I'm not entirely sure on that, and we're not sure exactly what the reason is. But it's definitely a bummer. It's definitely safe to say that this new Steve Jobs biopic, based on, you know, one of the books that an author wrote, was Oscar bait. You know, absolute 100%. Oscar nominated. It would have been Oscar nominated if not for Bale's portrayal in some aspect, the screenplay, whatever. Remember, this is Aaron Sorkin, the guy who wrote Social Network, one of my favorite movies of this past decade, and he just wrote what's ending soon, The Newsroom. You know, so I mean, this guy, you know, one of the best actors out there, and you're getting one of the best actors, one of the best screenwriters, and you're getting one of the best directors to helm it as well. And Steve Jobs, just iconic, just it definitely an inspiration to definitely to me, to many others, and his story is just incredibly unique. I saw the Ashton Kutcher movie a while back, and it's just really bad movie, but I respected, you know, the way, the direction that they were heading. You know, it was definitely in, you know, very like Apple flair, but just did not pull it off right. But you know, Christian Bale definitely thought would have been justice for it. I think this whole movie would have just been incredible, and it definitely would have been Oscar, you know, Oscar territory. But yeah, so those are two you know, kind of mini subjects for today, just because, you know, some pretty news just kind of broke recently. Just wanted to give my thoughts on it. This was our film rundown for today. So thank you guys for watching. Just share this video. Let us know your opinions down below. What are you guys excited for with Star Wars? Are you guys so interested in this Steve Jobs biopic? And just share the video, you know, and make sure to subscribe to us on YouTube. Thanks.